In this video, let's see an IIT JEE question based on the topic of functions which was asked in the year of 1998 and it was asked for 2 marks. The topic is functions. We already have seen what are functions, what are the various types of functions, what do you mean by inverse of function and everything related to functions. In the previous question also we have understood various concepts. Let's see what this question has to say and let's get started by reading the same. So the question goes such that if fx is equal to 3x minus 5, I have a function fx which is given to me as 3x minus 5, then what is f inverse x basically? So there are 4 options. The first is it is given by 1 upon 3x minus 5. The second option, which is option number B, is given by x plus 5 upon 3. The third option says that the inverse is not possible, it does not exist. Why? Because the function is not 1, 1. And the fourth, last but not the least option says that the function is not onto, hence the inverse does not exist. Now, for this question you need to know when does inverse basically exist. Inverse exists when the function is both 1, 1 and onto. That means it is a bijective function, this we already know. Now look carefully at the function again. The function is what? It is a linear function, 3x minus 5. You already know the graph of linear function is such that the function is basically both 1, 1 and onto. So option number C and D definitely are not my answers. Why? Because 3x minus 5 is a linear function and in a linear function it is both 1, 1 and onto. For those who have still not understood, I request you to please watch the previous video on bijective functions. Now, ultimately we are left with 2 options. That means we have to find the inverse. Finding the inverse is what ways? Let's see. I put the heading as solution and let's go about solving the same. I have fx is equal to 3x minus 5. Now fx can be written as y. So my y is equal to 3x minus 5. But for the inverse, we are not supposed to find the value of y, but the value of x. Basically f inverse x. So it becomes y plus 5 is equal to 3x. Or in the other respects, it becomes what? It basically becomes y plus 5 upon 3 is equal to x. Now this we know, right? X is not needed. What is needed is f inverse of something, right? So if f inverse x will come here, what will come here? Here it will come as x. This is what we usually do in the case of inverse. So the next step is what? The next step is simply you change y to x. So it becomes x plus 5 upon 3 and you change x to what? You change it to f inverse. So the inverse is basically what? X plus 5 upon 3. Now check out with the options. X plus 5 upon 3? No. A is not x plus 5 upon 3. So again A is not my answer. The last option that is left is given by x plus 5 upon 3. This is what we did. For those who find this step abrupt, I again repeat, y plus 5 upon 3 is equal to x is given. One step that we skipped was that you substitute it as x plus 5 upon 3 and you write this x as f inverse y. Now again these steps will yield to the last step only, that x plus 5 upon 3 is f inverse y, which is basically the inverse only, or f inverse x can also be written. So in this video we saw what? We saw the question for the year 1998 for 2 marks. This step is not needed, we can basically skip this step for those who already know how this step has been obtained. It was just for understanding purpose. So the answer is option number B, which is x plus 5 upon 3.